Hi and welcome back. What I have in front of me here today is the Modular Driven Technologies HS3 chassis system with their skeleton buttstock. Let's take a look. Okay, so in this guy at the moment I've mounted my Remington 223, and in tests with the Varmint SPS stock over this chassis system with no other changes, we were getting the standard Varmint stock was giving us about an MOA, and so about an inch-ish at 100 yards. And straight into this, brought the groups down to about a quarter of an inch. Sorry, about a third of an inch. Instantly. No other modification other than the 2 action screws. Set to, I think, 60 inch-pounds on this guy. And it made a massive difference over the plastic flexible SPS Varmint stock. If it was the light SPS Varmint or stock, I would say it'd be worse. But this was a brilliant upgrade over the standard Remington polymer stock, and I'd imagine over a lot of other stocks. But let's get straight into it. So back to front, back here we have the MDT skeletonized lightweight buttstock, which is the new one. It's half the weight of the V2, and it bolts onto the MDT LSS as well as the HS3, as you can see here, and the LSS-XL. And it fixes on with a big Allen on the back, so it's just a normal fixed stock. Moving up here, we're actually running a Hogue overmolded grip, which I think MDT sell themselves. You can get them on the site. I'll talk about the V-block when I strip it. We have a really beefy trigger guard here, and a magazine release just in front of it. It's not in the way, it's nice and tucked in. If you've slightly bigger hands than I, you might be able to drop the mag without having to move your thumb. I can just about reach it, but I generally grab my left thumb anyway. The opening is for standard AICS mags, so Action International Chassis System mags, which are probably the most common out there for Remington type pattern actions. So it'll take just about anything you want. You want to stick an accurate mag in there, a standard AICS mag, or MDT's own polymer mags work perfectly in it and feed perfectly. The only exceptions to that perfect feeding is if you have the Howe short action, you're going to have to take about 4 or 5 millimeters off your bolt stop to allow the bolt to come far enough to allow the lip of the base of the bullet to come up and feed properly. Otherwise, you were not going to be able to feed after the first round. But that is a really simple thing, and tiny tools needed to do it. It's not something that you have to give the gun off to a smith and wait a couple of days for. You can do it at home yourself, and there's videos on the internet on how to do that. But right here now we're talking about the Remington pattern one, so we keep moving forwards. Up here we have the Forend. The barrel clearance on this thing is phenomenal. If you wanted to run a straight taper the same diameter as the Action, you could. This thing will clear it. There's loads of clearance, which is a nice upgrade over the LSS-XL, which would bind up around here. It won't take quite such a big barrel. It'll take a big barrel, but it won't take the biggest of barrels, if you want to put it that way. The front is ridiculously rigid. If I push down here, you can see there's a little bit of flex, but that's way more flex than you'll ever come into in a shooting position, which means shooting off barricades and stuff like that. If you shoot PRS type matches, there's no trouble. It does accept Magpul Mo rails underneath and on the sides, and the side they are polymer skins, kind of like the skins that are in an AI chassis, but of course only designed for this. Comes in the 3 different colors. I think it was black, might be Coyote, and an OD green. But the black bill looks pretty nice. I like it a lot, and you're not going to see the dirt on it as much. But if you wanted to run a barricade stop, you can get here, because the Mo rail adapters go pretty far back to here, so you could mount a Picatinny barricade stop in there, no trouble. Or if you wanted to put one of the Velcro bags underneath, or what are they called? I think they're called pigskins. Or if you wanted to mount an Atlas bipod with the Picatinny mount, it also makes it nice and easy. It does come with the standard swivel stud to mount your Harris bipod to, or anything like that. This is a Coldwell, and so that's all pretty standard. One thing I think it'd be nice if it had, which it doesn't, is if it had flush cups each side, so you could run a flush cup sling without having to add on the adapter from a Picatinny rail or any other way you wish, because their buttstock does have anchor points for flush cups, and the I've used flush cups for a long time now, and I like the Magpul studs. They go in, they don't come out. You can trust them. The worst thing you could ever do is buy a cheap set of QDs, because you're going to drop your $3,000 or $4,000, $5,000 rifle. You want to trust what you're hanging off it. You don't want like a $5 stud holding up your $5,000 rifle. So that's one thing I can tell you, is get good studs for your sling. But this will take studs. It's quite nice. It'll take 2 up high, 2 down low. And this particular stock, as I said, is their newest one, the lightweight one. It's the one before this. It was a spin adjustable that would come up and down. This one has slots like a Harris bipod leg, and you set it with the quick slide on the side. It does come all the way off if your bolt doesn't clear, but I think they did fix the issue that the previous one had. This is all the way down now. Let's see if I can remove a bolt. Yeah, it looks like they fixed the issue. Oh no, it's got to come a bit further back, but it's pretty close. If I bring it up just a couple of slots here, let's see if I can take it out. That's a more realistic height. No, it's got to come up further. So that's something I thought they might have fixed since the Gen 2, but yeah, you got to rise it up pretty high to get that bolt out. In this case, it is actually probably about the right height, because I'm running the Vortex high rings, their highest set of rings actually, to clear this from my AIAX chassis. So it wouldn't be a problem if you have high rings, but if you have lower rings or you want to get that really close to the barrel, you might have to rise this up or take it off every time you're taking out your bolt. Again, not the end of the world, but it'd be nice if they had it just, oh, I don't know, a quarter of an inch farther back. You would have perfect clearance, or brought these pillars a bit closer together. But as I said, that's a minor problem. You also have adjustable length of pull on the back here, which is quite nice. I don't know if this comes all the way out. Oh, it does. Okay. So you have adjustable length of pull. You don't have any cant adjustment or any slide adjustment up and down, which would be nice. But again, for a fixed buttstock, it is not super expensive. I'll put up the price here. I think it was under $300. I hope I'm not too far off. But its weight is where it comes in nice. It is ridiculously light, which I'll put up on the screen as well here. It's half the weight of the previous version, and it's super solid. It's you're not going to think that you're pushing. You won't hear any creaking. It's very nice, especially if you're running a bag underneath the rider on the back here, or you have a Picatinny rail and you're using a stud on the back. It'll hold up perfect. You're not going to get much or any creep or warp. But we'll just strip it down now and take a look at the V block and the bits inside. So as I said, this has already been broken in. This has been used by a friend of mine for the past, I want to say 3 months, and he thinks it's brilliant. He's actually likes it so much, he's going to upgrade his rifle, but he's not going to sell the stock. He's going to just move his new rifle into it, which I think is a great idea, because you can buy it as a build project on your first Remington or whatever action you use, and keep it. Put on your own stock, sell your gun, bring in a new caliber, or get a rebuild, and just build off this. Now, when we're looking at the V block here, I actually put an Action International V block up beside it, and you'll see how nice they look. They actually use the same parameters as the AI or the AI V block, where it'll be mounted in the V-block. It's not going to touch the bottom of the V-block, just the two side walls. Now I know on a tangent, Action International have changed that on their AX Mark II chassis and their AT chassis, where they have a V-block and two raised rails underneath to hopefully get, I think, 4 points of contact over the diameter of the Action. I don't know if it actually works like that, but I know they've changed it. So this is like the older ones. But again, it worked perfectly before. I don't really know why they changed it. So we'll run in here and we'll get a close-up. So we have these up on the table here now. I'm just going to start at the back and go forwards. So there we go. We're looking at the takedown hole and the back of the V-block, pretty much the same. The trigger well, don't laugh at this one. Someone went at it with a hammer, but he got his desired result. This, as you can see, is a much bigger trigger well, and will take, I'm pretty sure, any trigger that's on the market. I don't think you'll have any trouble sticking. You're obviously not going to have any trouble sticking a Timney or a Jewel or anything else in there. That's a standard pattern. But if you had an oversized one, I'm pretty sure it'll fit as well. Moving up, these are machining holes here. We have our mag, which will drop out. And because it is AI compatible, they also work in AICS. So moving up again, we have our front takedown, the rest of the V-block up here. And that's machining hole. We have our recoil lug recess. This one is actually 0.391 wide to accept wider recoil lugs. This one was machined wider because this original AI, because it is the older type, had the smaller recoil lug. But obviously not going to have the problem. The AI recoil lug, V-block, passes up a little bit more, but there's not a whole lot in it. And you have a nice big square front end on the both of them. The MDT is a slightly longer by, looks like about an inch. But of course the AI has the spigot mount on the front, where the MDT is just a square front. With extremely strong, pretty much, I won't say identical, but they have definitely the same thing in mind, where you have a nice strong frame and you're going to be covering it in a nice plastic skin. But of course the MDT has the ability to choose whatever buttstock and pistol grip you want, where with the AI you're stuck with the AI unless you want to get a set of Viper skins, which kind of modernize it a bit and give you a bit more flexibility and usability of it. But yeah, that's the inside of this guy. You can have a good look there. And as I said before, it'll take Magpul Mo rails. There's your spacing on the bottom and your spacing on this side. Okay. As for the pistol grips, the grip itself, you can see that it might and it might not take a duck build grip. You might have to do a little bit of shaving on it, but I can show you an MDT LSS-XL that has duck bill. That's an Ergo with a duck bill on it there now, and that clears fine. And if that buttstock was on this one, I'm pretty sure it'll also clear. But I think you get the idea of what it looks like there. It is very strong, and it is much stronger than the MDT LSS, but it is heavier. That's the trade-off. They're different for different they're different chassis for different purposes. But so this one here now, I actually put the price on screen in US dollars off this particular build, and you'll see how it can all add up. Now this buttstock is cheaper than this buttstock, but this buttstock has more adjustment. It has longer length of pull. It has cant adjustable butt plate. The butt plate will actually rise and drop. And other than that, I'd say they're pretty much the same rigidity. I wouldn't do that much. But this buttstock is heavier than this. So depending on what you put on the buttstock, it can either be as cheap as you want, running like a set of Magpul pistol grips and like a CTR buttstock, which will give you a nice lock. In that case, you're going to get the buttstock, the pistol grip, and the AR buffer tube for, I guess, $100, plus the price of this. Or you can get this and add on all the fancy bits. You could go, if you wanted to go Magpul again, you could go with the precision rifle stock, which is quite expensive. I'd actually take one of these over a PRS, I think. And It's lighter for a start, but I think they're more rigid, and I like these a bit more. Depending on what you add onto this stock, depends on its kind of quality or its usability. You can customize it yourself, but if you start adding on the most expensive parts, you're going to be into the price range of, for example, some of the Axe International chassis systems, as well as the KRG, the XLR chassis, a lot of those other manufacturers that make complete chassis systems that aren't modular like this, but give you all the options, like the KRG X-Ray. I'm not sure if you're going to come into the Whiskey 3 kind of money, but you'll definitely get secondhand AIs that give you the features, but I'm not sure when you get a new one. You might pick up a Gen 1 AX for close to the price if you had this all kitted out. But that's for you to decide if you want something like that, or you'd prefer a more modular chassis like this that a lot of manufacturers are going for, because they are very popular. And as I said at the very start, when we tested this, we were getting a rifle that was shooting 1 MOA. It dropped down to 1/3 of an MOA, and it stayed there. It's been very consistent with factory ammo ever since we changed into this stock, and it's very unfussy, which is nice. It's nice to upgrade a gun and not have a fussy gun afterwards that it will shoot low if you put too much pressure on it, or you push your cheek too hard on it, or you're leaning sideways. This doesn't really care. Once it's in there, it's torqued down to its spec. It's solid enough not to care how you shoot, different angles, different positions, up to a certain extent. Just with any stock, the bipod pressure, how much pressure you put on it yourself. It's a very solid platform. So that was my review of this Modular Driven Technologies HS3 rifle with their new buttstock. I think it's a great little system that you can make grow with your rifle. You get one of these and a cheap buttstock with some nice risers like a CTR and some risers, a nice cheap pistol grip, and you got a cheap starting off build. As you're growing, as you're getting better at shooting, you can easily throw better buttstock on there, better pistol grip, and upgrade all the parts of it. It's very nice in that way, and I don't know, was it designed like that, but it's definitely one of the features I like about it. If you wanted to do a little bit more rough shooting, maybe a bit more PRS type, there's probably better systems out there that come all built for a little bit more money. You're looking at the KRGs, you're looking at the AIs, the XLRs, they're top end stuff, because by the time you have all the upgrades bolted onto this, you're going to be pretty close to that price. But the thing is, you don't have to do it all at once. You can start off with this plus the cheap parts and not break the bank, which is really nice. So if you'd like to see more of these reviews, I've got a good few coming in the next couple of weeks. We've got more of the 223 build series, we've got the suppressor test coming up, and we've a couple of cool things coming from Vortex to try out as well. So subscribe and we'll get some more of that out to you. So for now, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.